Welcome to another installment of Green Sheep and the Family's sustainability videos. Today we are making kale chips in our solar dehydrator. If you haven't seen the solar dehydrator, I believe I made a video of that, and we can show some of it today. Right here is the steel pan, stainless steel, that we got from Home Depot. Pretty sure it was around $16, and I fit this into a solar dehydrator that I made. So what we're doing here is taking some beautiful purple kale, stripping it off of the stem, and then we will be using that on the plate here to let the sun dry it so we don't have to use the oven to make wonderful kale chips that the whole family can enjoy. So you take the kale here, preferably when it's crisp, and just run your fingers down until it falls off. Save these for soup stock, they're wonderful. You can trick the kids into eating kale, and the purple is really nutritious by boiling that with your you can boil it separately if you want, or boil it directly with like a red sauce that you buy at the store, or make yourself with your own homemade tomatoes. So then you can throw that in the blender, which is why we sometimes boil it separately, and blend that all up so it's pulverized completely. Mix it in with your sauce, heat it and reduce it down a little more, and lo and behold, your kids are eating healthy and nutritious purple vegetables. Dun, 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 dun. So we're just going to tear these up so they have more surface area, and to get them off of the center stem, which is probably a little less desirable to eat as a chip. The thing that really sucks about kale chips at the store is the packaging. So when you buy it, you get this big, huge plastic box that's covered in a foil wrap, and the kale chips are loosely set in there. And so when you're done eating, you've eaten, oops, that was the wrong, kale here, stems there. When you're done eating, all you have left is an empty belly and a lot of packaging. So it's just kind of a tease. Yeah, it tastes good, but the companies that make them should be banned, in my opinion, from further business. So what we're going to do here is rinse this off and then throw some seasonings on it. So the rinse will just remove anything from shipment, and then, pardon me, it will help to adhere anything like the curry that I'm about to put on there, and the salt, pepper, and stuff like that that you want to put on. So you can try a multitude of different things. I'm going to shake it to get the excess water out. So we're going to turn the leaves over. A mess. So we can let gravity and a little physics work with us here to get most of the water off, but we've gotten a good disbursement of water on the leaves. So now take some curry. Get this from the bulk section of your store in a glass jar. Make sure you find your tare weight for your jar. So this is 4.0 ounces or 0.25 pounds. Just take them up to the register, ask them to weigh it and give you a tare, and take a magic marker with you. And then you've got a wonderful container that you can write your SKU numbers on. And when I went the other day to get some oregano and spices and stuff, it was $5 for a little bitty jar of organic oregano and basil and such. When we had run out, we were very sad when we had to do our pasta sauce. So an emergency trip to the store to get a few other things, and I filled up, and I think I ended up paying 50 cents each for these containers filled with spices. So huge savings. That's like an order of magnitude less cost, and instead of $5 for that, I could spend the $5 on something else that we wanted, and more for the family. So then we'll take some sea salt. You can also get this in bulk. We get it in these big Planters nuts containers after we're done eating cashews, that, you know, they're not organic, but sometimes when you're on the go and you have to choose between foods, and you just have a Walmart accessible or some crappy store, you have to choose what you can and go with it. So choose your best, something with a container that you can reuse, and take those to the bulk bins. Enjoy your cashews. Salt a little more. And then we'll just dump this on the tray here. And join me outside in just a moment, and we'll see the solar dehydrator that I made. We'll see how much of this we can get going today without using any internal energy other than what was used to cool this. So if you buy it fresh from the farmer's market, you don't need to cool it at all. You can stuff your refrigerator full of sun tea, which I'm making today as well. We're going to pop this out there and show you the procedure for the solar oven, and then the results at the very end. So what we've got here, some solar tea, which I'll be enjoying later. This is tilted so that any water can run off and not get the box wet. I've let a little of the water evaporate off. Let's place a meat thermometer in here so that we can see what temperature it reaches. I've constructed this box out of pine, so it's pretty inexpensive to do. In here you'll see cedar, so that'll help hopefully keep bugs away if they decide to come marching. So this props it up at either of the two levels, and eventually, hopefully, we can do 2 different runs in here. I'll be messing around with this, trying to see if I can put a top piece on here so that we can have one sit here and then one sit on the lip of another piece. I just set these in here. We got a black piece of granite tile. I didn't want anything that was compressed, so hopefully this is natural. And we will, next time we go into the local restore to see if we can get some black natural tile from there. So that's going to absorb any sunlight that makes it through and hold heat and re-radiate. So one of the other things I was thinking about was throwing in some of those little black river rocks that I've got somewhere around here. Put them in my planters, which probably makes my plants heat up a lot. Just had some right here. Let me grab a few. So even sitting under the mulch that I just added today, these are way above body temperature. So I can line spaces not covered by the black tile. Everett, keep your Buzz Lightyear back, please. Okay, this is very fragile stuff here. Daddy's making a video. You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Yay. You want to sit right here? Okay. Okay, keep Buzz right there and I'll fix them for you in a second. Please be quiet while I do the video, okay? So we'll place a few more in here. This one's got a beautiful fossil in it.
Can I see it?
Yes, you can. See the fossil right there? The circle oval? That's an ancient dinosaur. A little bitty one. Okay, so what I've done is experiment with this. This is round number 2. We did round number 1 before we went out hiking, so we could dehydrate some food. And this thing got pretty hot pretty quick. Yeah. So, got a little sway there. This is a piece of cedar that at the very base of it, you can see a gap. So I actually screwed up in my design. I was planning on using some holes to help the moisture get out. But when I screwed up the design, I kind of switched things around a little bit, and we're using this at the bottom. So you can slide it in most of the way and leave some gap, or just leave it off, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to leave a couple gaps on the sides, and then we'll take this nice sheet of glass. I used this from a project to build a stereo rack years ago, and so this was already in-house. You can go to your local glass place and ask them for a sheet, and this was tempered and specifically beveled at the edges. It's pretty expensive for the project I made. Don't touch this, be very careful, this is fragile. And tempered, if you scratch it or chip it, it's more likely to break, so the chips on the corners and where the wires held the glass make it a little more fragile. So we're going to sit and watch this, see if the temperature starts to rise. You can also slide this open a little bit to let some moisture out for a little while and let some of the temperature go down. But most important thing is to keep the moisture low. So hope you enjoy. We're going to check back in just a minute. What are you doing? Why do you keep making that noise? Say, I'm the green sheep of the family. You'll have to pardon the background noise. There is a gas-powered lawnmower across the street taking down the worthless lawn. Just in case you didn't know, I run ecolawnmow.com. That's ECOLAWNMOW.com. And I use battery and electric-powered objects. Right now we are at just under 130 degrees. The new solar tea that I started, it's within the last hour, is a jade cloud. And you can see my contraption. It's a found satellite dish from someone who orders those pathetic television shows and has one of these silly, obnoxious dishes on top of their house. Probably the same people that don't like windmills in farmland in Kansas because they think it's an eyesore, but I think their satellite dish is an eyesore. So I found it on the side of the street, painted it white, and I use it as a solar concentrator. So as you can tell, the moisture has ceased to condense on the top here due to a 2mm gap that I've set over here, allowing the air to come in at the bottom and run up over the glass, carry the moisture out the top through that crack. So I think that's about perfect. And I'm showing between 100 and 135 degrees for this right here, depending on when the clouds pass over. It's been a really cloudy day and it looks like it's turning even cloudier, but we should have some quality, semi-crisp kale chips tonight. I think I might just sneak a little taste. That's still pretty gooey. As you can tell, it's really warm in there. And you can tell they've definitely lost a lot of moisture, so we'll continue to let this sit, and if it has to go for a little while tomorrow, that's fine. I started it late in the day, so it's now 3 o'clock. I think we started around 1 o'clock. If I would have gotten this out around 9 or 10 in the morning, or as the day started, as I was leaving for work, then that would probably be completed by the time I got home. So I think the solar tea is about ready too. Every once in a while, I'll just grab it, shake it, stir things up a little bit, set it back in there. And then, as the sun starts to wane in the day, you can turn this to where there is a little shadow and more reflection into here. Sorry for the monkey noises in the background. We're having fun in our little pool today. This is Green Sheep of the Family. We are out.